And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Ryan Lewicki Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head baseball coach Ryan Lewicki. And Ryan, bounce back with your first weekend sweep of the year over Carolina U. Talk about the series down there and what you guys did.
Yeah, I think Carolina U was a good, bounce back for us from the weekend prior with Mansfield. And just reflecting on the last 2 weeks, we struggled really in every facet with Mansfield, and we had to, go to Carolina with a lot of question marks still. Where do we go as a program? How do we get better offensively? How do we try to play a little bit more consistent defensively while still pitching well? So with Carolina, the biggest thing was just let's get back to hopefully finding some confidence, some consistency with what we're doing. And out of the gate, struggle early, like most, right? We didn't play well to start. And then, game one, we finished well, right? Innings 5, 6, and 7, we finished game one well. And it just kind of led to the weekend as a whole, where we finally started to, hit with runners on, play for big innings. Defensively, still not great, but good enough. And then pitching, we had to pitch without one of our starters this weekend, so that was going to be a big question mark. But all in all, right, anytime you sweep somebody, it's you can't look at it in a negative. You still have to learn from the mistakes you're making and figure out where do we want to go moving forward. But 3-0 is 3-0, so we'll take it and move forward with it.
And your offense, really big weekend, 46 runs between the 3 games, including a big 20-run outburst in that finale. Talk about offensively, what clicked for you guys?
Yeah, truthfully, I don't know. I think we've just been struggling for the first 3 weekends pretty good at doing what should be the easiest part of baseball, which is hitting with runners on. We've struggled with it drastically. Even at USCB and to Virginia State and Mansfield, just struggled for 3 weeks with hitting with runners on, scoring runs. And I think that's been the focal point for the last 10 days is we have to just be more relaxed and more confident and get more guys to want to hit with runners on and not stress so much about that. And it looked like finally at Carolina, a lot of guys finally just maybe took a breath and were a little bit more patient and got a little bit more aggressive on them and just finally found a way to score with runners on because that's been the biggest negative in a month. So it was good to see. And it wasn't just one guy. It was a lot of guys for once finally hitting with runners on, so it was good to see. Took some stress off the staff, took some stress off the defense, so we'll see if we can do it here this weekend.
In that final game, a lot of work out of your bullpen. I believe there was 5 or 6 guys who pitched in that final game. They pitched pretty well, keeping Carolina U at bay. Talk about the bullpen and their work during the week.
Yeah, I actually said that at the end of the weekend. I said I was really pleased with, when you talk about throwing probably 6 to 9 guys out of your bullpen in 3 games, and them kind of keeping everything in check for as much as they did. I think that was the biggest positive was, I think in those innings, they probably pitched somewhere around 10 innings throughout the weekend, the bullpen. And I think they really kept Carolina's offense, which is pretty good, into just a scenario where they were either giving up a few hits every inning or they were not walking a lot of guys or vice versa, right? So I felt like they minimized the damage. They were able to get quick outs. They never really let up a big inning. I think the biggest inning at any point this weekend the bullpen gave up was maybe a 2 spot, right? So when you're throwing that many arms and they're throwing that many innings, there's a lot of wrong that can happen in a bullpen. So I was just really pleased to see that many guys have success and now hopefully build with some confidence into this weekend.
And for the 3rd time in 4 weeks, you guys got honored by the conference. Luke Meyer this time getting the hitter of the week in the MEC. Big weekend for him. Talk about what was working for him out of that 2 spot as a DH.
Yeah, I think Luke is kind of like what I said. I think he's just getting more confident. I really do. I think the biggest thing is what people don't know, Luke is, he's in like his 3rd year of college, but he's never really played college baseball yet until this year consistently because he's been battling injuries and just red shirts at schools prior. So, it's good to see him kind of mature into just playing college baseball, getting more confidence, seeing more pitches. I think starting to figure out what type of hitter he wants to be. He does a really good job because he gets a lot of sometimes left-up matchups out of the bullpen with lefties. And I think he's done a great job of just taking the baseball where it is. And I think that's been his biggest positive is he's not afraid to shoot a fastball away the backside, but also pull something up that's trying to elevate out of the ballpark. So I think he's just getting really confident. I really like where he's going. I think he's only scratching the surface of where he could probably go as a hitter. And I think now it's starting to show some of those signs that we saw in him when we recruited him, and now I just need him to keep getting more confident as this goes.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head baseball coach Ryan Lewicki. And Ryan, nice bounce back sweep. You're going back into region play. How does that kind of help your confidence getting that sweep before you head back into the region?
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing right now for us is we have to keep stacking good weekends. We've played 4, we didn't win all 4, right? Mansfield, I'm not going to let them we've turned the page from it, but a big part of Mansfield was I felt like that was the first time this year where we kind of got, I want to say like paced a little bit. Like they kind of took it to us. And I think for us now moving forward is we have to keep making sure that we are the aggressor when we play college baseball, right? That we're going to pitch with confidence. We're going to play for big innings in the offense. We're going to play really good defense. But we're not going to be afraid to step in the box or step on the mound or whatever it is, and we're going to go challenge, right? So I think this weekend with Bluefield, I think that's the demeanor, that's the mindset. From pitch 1 of game 1 throughout the 4-game series is we're the aggressor. We're going to attack. We're going to try to go challenge. We're going to try to get quick outs. We're going to try to build some confidence, but we're going to play with a lot of confidence. And I think that's where 2 weeks ago we struggled. I really thought last week we started to build some of that. Now with Bluefield, it's big, because the last in-region weekend we had, we didn't win it. So for us, with these long-term goals that we have to find a way to win this weekend now more than ever.
And talk a little bit about this Bluefield State team. You're going to be hosting them again at Go-Mart Ballpark. Talk about this Bluefield State team, what they bring.
Yeah, they hit. They're like everybody else. It's been 4 weeks of the same thing. It's been 4 weeks of good offenses we've been thrown against. They're like us defensively where they are good when they make routine plays, but sometimes they fault on making routine plays just like we do, and their pitching's young. So, it's hard to tell what we're going to get from their staff. 2 lefties, 2 righties, but they're young. I think they got 2 freshmen on the mound, a sophomore and a junior, so they're going to be a little bit younger there. But that offense can swing, and that offense can play, and they run the bases really well. So we're going to have a challenge in our hands just like we've had for 4 weeks where can our staff and our bullpen minimize damage, keep them in check? Can we play better defensively, control the running game? And truthfully, our dictation is based on if our offense can swing. If our offense swings and puts up numbers and scores, it takes all the stress off everybody else. And if we don't, which we've seen through 11 games, that's when the struggle for us comes. So big weekend, got to find a way to win 3 out of 4. Great venue. I love Coach Chino there. He's awesome, but this is going to be a really fun weekend for sure.
Thanks, Ryan. Good luck this weekend. Can't wait to see you out there.
Thanks, Zach.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.
And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.